بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Continue our example, our practice test, Quickbooks practice test. We reach to purchases. We have question number 41. Suppose you have a subcontractor who receives 1099 form for tax purposes, for example, from your company. Which list should you add to them? A subcontractor is a vendor, and we must put it in the vendor list. Then if we, for example, click write checks and we add a new vendor here, for example, if the subcontractor name is A, B, C subcontractor, ABC subcontractor, and we press tab, then quick add. We must choose here vendor to add it to our list. Then it's a vendor list. We will add it on the vendor list. Yes, the answer is B. 42. When should you never delete a check? 42. Here we never delete check when you print a check and check number has been used. Here we must note that from our Quickbooks application that writing checks here does not mean you print the check. You only write the check on the Quickbooks window, and you can add, edit, remove the checks here unless you go to print checks. If you go to print checks and you choose the check you want to print and you print it on the official check paper, you have a checkbook, for example, for any bank, the company have a checkbook, and use the official check form, official check paper for example. When you enter any check on the right check here a check like form here, but here you can add and remove and edit any transactions here related to checks, but you can't add or remove or edit here. You can't delete a check here if you print a check. You can't delete a check from the right check window if you officially print a check. If you choose the checks here, choose the check or the checks you want to print it, and you click print and you officially print the check on the check paper, official check paper, you can go and delete check here from right checks. You can't go and select delete. You can select void checks, but not delete checks here. If you don't print the check, you can select delete check. Okay. Then you print a check and the check number has been used. You can, you should never delete it. You can void it. Then the answer is D, choice D. What methods for purchasing can recorded using the right checks window? What methods for purchasing can be recorded using the right checks window? Here we have the choices here. Choice number A, debit card purchases. Yes, you can, and right checks use it. Petty cash purchases, yes. ATM withdrawal, yes. All of the above, yes. That's the correct answer. And right check window, you can put or use any of these choices: debit card purchases, petty cash purchases, ATM withdrawals. All of these above, all of the above answers are correct. All of the above answers are correct. Then you can use debit card purchases, petty cash purchases, ATM withdrawal in the write checks window. The correct answer, all of the above. How do you track accounts payable in Quickbooks? Track means you want to see the details of the accounts payable. Here, enter a bill and then use the payables windows. Here, if you enter a bill, the bill will shown on the accounts payable or on the vendor statement, for example. And then use the pay bill window when you go to the pay bill window and pay for the and pay the vendor an amount, total the complete amount or the partial payment. As we said in the previous videos, you can see the transactions on the accounts payable or on the vendor account. Here, go back and choose for example tables and choose a vendor. For example, you can see here we have here the transactions with the vendor loading. Here you can see the transactions with the vendor, the open balance, and the other transactions. If we have transactions with the vendor, if we don't have any transactions here, we don't show any transaction here. Quickbooks don't show any transactions. But if we have transactions, as we see in the previous videos, we have here transactions will be listed in the category named recent transactions. Or you can go to vendors here and choose the vendor, ABC vendor or a company vendor, and see the transactions, open balances. Here the transactions with the vendor. You can choose many choices for, or can go to many choices of windows and see how the customer will transactions. For example, here you can see the purchase order, items, files, items, receipts, bills, bill payments. We have here statements. You can use it to see these transactions with vendors. Okay, cool. Have many Windows choices to see the details of the transactions with vendors. Then you can track accounts payable by entering bills and then use the payables window. Number 45, what transactions for credit? If you want to enter vendor credit, you go to enter bill first. Here, enter credit in the we have a credit in the customer category, but for the vendor you must go first for enter bills, then click on credit here and enter the credit information. Then the answer is enter bill. The correct answer is B. What happens to the inventory asset account when you enter a purchase order for the inventory? Purchase order simply is a request from the company to its vendor, and no accounts are affected. Okay, the accounts will be affected when the inventory reach to the company and the company receives the inventory and the invoice from the vendor. Then without receiving or without invoices, the Quickbooks will not affect any account. Then simply purchase order. If you're entering a purchase order only here, purchase order, you enter and save a purchase order. Quickbooks, if you enter a purchase order and save it as we see in the previous videos, the Quickbooks will not affect any account and will not record any journal entries. The journal entries will be recorded when you enter bills or when you receive an inventory and there is a bill and you enter a bill, then the invoice, the Quickbooks will create a journal entry and the accounts will be affected. The correct answer here is D. No accounts will be affected. Number 47. Which form should you use to enter petty cash expenditure? Here we have write checks or use check register. Yes, write checks or use check registers. As we said, the payment of cash will be entered in write checks window. The answer is D. When reconciling your bank account, what must the beginning balance match? The beginning balance match, it should always match the opening balance on the paper book statement. The opening balance on the paper book statement. Here you can use the bank reconciliation. Here we have bank reconciliation from banking and when the bank statement receives from the company receives the bank statement from its bank and compare the bank statement with the bank account on the company's books, then the beginning balance here. What must the beginning balance match? It should always match the opening balance on the paper bank statement. Okay, on the paper bank statement, the correct answer is B. What is a reason to use the item tab when entering bill? The item tab when entering bill to assign a cost to job or purchase inventory, track expenses or freight charges, or there is not an item tab. No. Track expenses here. The question talks about here on the entering bill. We have expenses and items. Expenses for entering the track expenses and entering right expenses, and there is an item tab. Then the correct answer to assign cost to a job or purchase inventory. We use the item when we purchase inventory. Yep. This is the correct answer. Correct answer is B. 50. How do you set up Quickbooks to automatically use discounts and credits? We have here choose edit, preferences, bills, company preferences, then edit, preferences, bills, and company preferences. And you can see here that you can check this automatically use credit and check this automatically use discount. Here, if we check these two checkboxes, then the Quickbooks will automatically use the credit and use discounts. If we leave it unchecked like this, then the Quickbooks will, when we pay bills, must here click on the set credit and set discount to use it, and on receive payment we must here use discount and credit to use discounts and credits. The correct answer is D. Then we finish the purchase category. In the next video we'll continue. Thank you.